The church is God's plan to make the gospel visible to the world. To that end, Christ Fellowship exists to declare and display the truth and beauty of the gospel for the glory of God and the joy of all people. That's our mission. We think God's kingdom grows through faithful churches that show the world what Jesus is like and tell the world what Jesus has done. What could be more worth investing in than the local church? The church that Christ loves and sends to bring gospel hope to the nations.
As the roots of your faith go deeper and deeper into the Lord, into His Word, only then can you flourish, so that we can then be more equipped to go into our neighborhoods, to go into the world and represent Jesus as the one true King.
So I'm in my 12th year of serving as the senior pastor of Christ Fellowship, and I'm so encouraged at the ways the gospel is bearing fruit in our church. Our congregation is treasuring gospel doctrine, nurturing gospel culture, and sharing gospel hope in word and in deed. And we want to continue living out our mission and priorities in the years ahead. That's why we are embarking on a 2-year vision called Deeper. In this season, we're asking the Lord to take us deeper as a church. Deeper in our own discipleship, deeper in our fellowship with each other as we seek to nurture a beautiful gospel culture. We also want to make a deeper investment in CF Kids, a growing demographic and really the future of our church. And finally, we want to see a deeper impact for the gospel both near and far. So there are 2 parts to the Deeper initiative. First, we want to continue to invest in our core ministries and expand our missional impact while also making improvements to our campus. We want to continue the vibrant gospel-centered ministries for children and youth and adults on Sunday and throughout the week. We want to provide ongoing support for some of our partner organizations doing good kingdom work locally and globally. We want to increase the total percentage of our church's giving to missions, and we want to put aside seed money to start a center of hope in downtown West Chicago where our church can help meet spiritual and physical needs for economically vulnerable people in our community.
I think when I look at all the different components of Deeper, I'm really excited about the aspect of being deeper missionally and reaching out, whether that be overseas or locally. We get an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than ourselves, that we can trust Him.
The heart of this church is mission-oriented, and it's wonderful.
The second component of Deeper involves improvements to our campus. Renovating our building will make it more usable for the ministry that we're already doing. It'll give us expanded lobby and kids space, as well as indoor and outdoor spaces for our church family to connect throughout the week. These improvements will also make our building safer for our children and youth, as well as allow newcomers to easily navigate their way throughout our campus. People often say our church is so welcoming, but we want our building to be as welcoming as our people.
I'm really looking forward to Deeper, what that's going to do for our church with community and relationships. When I think about some of the new plans that we have for CF, I can imagine me meeting with some friends and like just really going deep in conversation and community with one another. And not just being like a surface level, but really growing with one another in our relationship with Christ as well as each other.
The primary goal of Deeper is to have 100% engagement of everyone who calls Christ Fellowship their church home. In other words, we're inviting everyone to be part of Deeper. We see this as an opportunity for all of us to grow in our faith and in our discipleship. The secondary goal is for each of us to go deeper in our generosity. In the New Testament, we see that disciples of Jesus are generous with the resources that God entrusts to them. They receive His generosity with grateful hearts, and they seek to reflect His generosity with open hands. When the church in Philippi gave sacrificially to support the work of the gospel, Paul told them that God received their generosity as worship. In fact, he called their giving a fragrant offering, a sacrifice acceptable and pleasing to God. Friends, the Deeper Initiative is ultimately about the growth of the gospel in the lives of our people, as well as the people whom God will bring to CF in the days ahead. Whether you've been part of our church for many years or you're newer to Christ Fellowship, my hope is that you will pray about making a sacrificial commitment to see this vision come to fruition. The great missionary Hudson Taylor once said, "God's work, done God's way, will never lack God's supply." I believe that as we go deeper together, we'll experience God's supply. Christ Fellowship, let's be the church and go deeper.